Let me tell you about my show. Wednesday nights. And here we go. It's the rule of three with a touch of Basco. And like the Joker says, and here we go. It's Wednesday night and it's 9 o'clock. Click on the thumbnail, it's about to get hot. We get 3 different questions in only 3 minutes. It ain't for the scared, it ain't for the timid. Some will like us and some just don't. A lot will back us and some just won't. It don't matter with the Khaos crew. We specialize in making things do what they do. So sit back, chill, and enjoy the show with me, Chris, Guy Scar, and Nzo.
Fire, peace. 9 o'clock, Wednesday nights. Don't miss it. Check us out.
Oh, what is up, everybody? I am Chris Knight. This is Khaos Central's The Rule of Three Wednesdays show. And, man, we got some good stuff on here today. Basically 3 topics, 3 minutes. We each individually talk about it for that long, and then we talk about it for 3 minutes as a group. And don't forget, guys, to stay to the end, because we have the final 5 factor fiction. We got 5 today that we're going to be going through and see who gets the points for those. Yeah, 5. And not just that, for those of you who are watching after the fact, there'll be a special surprise at the end. I'm kidding. There isn't. I'm just trying to keep people watch till the whole thing. No, guys, really, this is for the live audience and for the people out there who watch on the replay. We appreciate everybody who does watch these shows. All 3 of us put a lot of work into what we do, and we've all 3 been doing this now for, about almost 2 years now, I think. 3 of us. So yeah, we appreciate it. We're seeing the numbers go up. We're seeing all this come together. Just keep watching, keep supporting us. We appreciate every last one of you. So now let's talk to the 2 people here with me tonight. We'll start with Nzo right next to me. Nzo, tell them about yourself and your channel, please.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing, man? Great to be here once again. Later on, we got the OOC. Think we got some fire topics going on there tonight. So I'm just glad to be here. But chat, let me see in the chat how many times we can get Chris to say "poom poom" tonight. That's one.
It's like the thing. Nobody was like, "Oh my God, what the hell did he just say?" It's all about the poom poom. Say it like Yogi Bear, you know. It's all about the poom poom.
Oh, pick a big basket.
What's going on? I see. Really quick, I see Andrea Cruz. I see Drive Shop here. David Quintana. Dandelion Fluff, thank you. Tony Robinson's here. Mio1. Guys, thank you. Make sure I got a tweet pinned on my Twitter right now at ChrisKnight5150. Make sure you go out there and retweet that out so other people know we're live. Danny, tell them about yourself and tell them about your channel, please.
I am Danny Graham, aka Comic Chat. You can find me here 3 nights a week on this very channel with these 2 men, one to my up to my left, up to my right. Nzo, Chris, they're my boys. We try to give you content that will make you laugh, make you think, make you say, "Damn, I didn't see it that way." 3 different, like I said, 3 different totally opinions. Sometimes we on the same boat, sometimes we're not, but that's what makes it fun. Also, you can catch 3 of us and our other compadre Roberto on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually, sometime between 4 and 6. Little show we call Square One, where we talk totally NFL, NBA. NFL had a lot of good news going on today that I want to talk about Saturday. So if y'all not doing anything, please stop by and drop us in and see us, man. The GOAT may be coming back. That's a good thing.
And Dandelion, you're right. It is the whitest way of saying "poom poom" ever. Is what Chris says.
Listen. I gotta say something really quick here. I get these guys all the time on doing things like James Brown and shit like that. And I'm gonna tell you, there's no reason to stop. There's no reason to stop.
Let me tell you this right there. And this is no lie. Blow me up on this. I gotta say this.
Okay, hold on. I'll get you up here. So there you go. All right.
If you are sick, if you know someone that has some kind of disease, cancer, whatever the case may be, whatever, and you want to laugh, I mean, belly gut laugh, please go on Movie Aficionados and just look up the time we do karaoke and just play Chris portion. I guarantee you will not stop laughing. Every time I watch it, I laughed about 10 or 15 minutes straight. My wife was like, "What the hell wrong with you, man?" I said, "This shit here. If I could ball it up and sell it, I'd be a millionaire." So let me go check that shit out. It's funny.
Facts.
Listen, I've always just liked being able to get a laugh out of people or have entertainment value.
There ain't
so
no
that's
laugh
all I
there,
care
boy.
about.
Shit. You could be
All right,
rich.
guys.
Sell that shit. You could be rich.
All right, so 2 weeks ago, I introduced the Doors. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce the Doors again tonight. Next week, we might have the wheel back. I'm going to kind of switch between them. I might come up with another way of doing this, too. We'll
like
find
Doors,
out.
Bro.
But the Doors are right here. So I believe 2 weeks ago, Danny, you picked first?
I did.
Okay. So, Nzo, we're going to let you pick first this time. 1, 2, or 3.
And since I'm first and I am number 1 in YouTube, I'm going to go with door number 1.
All right. The Batman opened
Yes.
over the weekend with 134 million box office in the U.S. It's the second best premiere since the pandemic began, behind Spider-Man No Way Home. Does this pave the way for Robert Pattinson's portrayal of Batman to become the DCEU's new main Batman?
I'm gonna have a drink.
Why or why not? Let's go up here. Make sure I get the 3-minute timer up. Boom. And we will move this over. There we go.
That shot was for you, Nzo.
Thank you.
All right, 3 minutes. And
Ready.
I will see. Yeah, okay. I'll type it up here in a second. But all right, 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
So I definitely have to say it's just fitting that someone who said they ain't gonna fucking talk about the Batman anymore picks the door that has something about the motherfucking Batman. Unbelievable. But okay, it made 134 million domestic, about 248 million worldwide. I don't think it paves the way for him to become the Batman moving forward, because from everything I'm hearing, that this is just its own story. He'll probably have a trilogy like Nolan did and then move on to something else. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, it's like, how many Batman movies are we going to get? How many different characters playing Batman are we going to get? So I would probably be okay if they decided to incorporate him into the big DCEU, if they're still doing that, because DCEU, we really don't know what their plan is, and then keep him going for the next 10 years as Batman or something like that. But at the end of the day, we can't just keep recasting this character every 10 years, right? Because it's going to get to a point where it's like, okay, like, can we see Green Lantern? Can we see Martian Manhunter? Can we see other characters, right? So I think it's good for what's now, what they want to do. It's actually making its money, hopefully. And I still think it's not going to make $1 billion, right? But we'll see. I can't wait to see what the second week drop on it is. But at the end of the day, for what it's worth, for what it is right now, it's their universe. It's perfect for that situation. Would I like to see him go forward? I think they could find someone better to play Batman. But again, because of the role in the movie, he was supposed to play Batman and Bruce Wayne as that character. So I'm going to give him a chance to see if he ends up going, like, the comic book route where there's two different personas. There's a Bruce Wayne persona, and then there's the Batman persona. Because right now it just seemed like in this movie that there was just one persona, and it wasn't even Batman or Bruce Wayne. It was just the Vengeance persona. You know what I mean? So towards the end of the movie, though, he did come to light. So that's why I say in the next one we may get a more double-sided, I guess, if you want to say, Batman. Which if they do that, okay, that's fine. But is he going to be the Batman going forward? I have no idea, especially when it comes to DCEU, right? I have a feeling that they're really just going to do these 3 movies and then move on. Even Matt Reeves said, like, he doesn't want to focus on bringing a Superman or any other thing into this universe because it's hard enough to do Batman, right? So with that saying that, it seems to me like he's going to do his 3 and gone. But they can find a way to keep Patterson. Like I said, they have the Flash movies. So the Flash movie can always change things.
All right. Very good. There's a poll about this up at the top, guys. Make sure you vote in that. And Danny, go ahead. 3 minutes. Your time starts.
Could I get the question again?
Yeah. The question, I will just do this really quick. The Batman opened
Pay
over
attention,
the weekend
Danny.
with 134 million box office in the U.S. It's the second best premiere since No Way Home. Does this pave the way for Robert Pattinson to become the DCEU's, or DC, more to the point, DC's new main Batman? Why or why not? Okay. And Anzo basically said no and gave his reasons. He thinks they're just going to do the 3 and done. But he does open up the fact that the Flash movie and some other things could make it happen. But I think, Anzo, you're on the side of no, it's not going to, right? Okay. Well, all right. So, Danny, 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
Okay, I'm going to say yes. This does pave the way. It's Robert Pattinson's to lose or to win it, whether he wants to sink his teeth into it. I think if he wants it, it's his for the taking. I'm to be honest, I did not think Pattinson could pull off Batman when I first heard that he was going to portray him, because I was team Ben Affleck. I was like, man, it's gonna be hard to be Ben Affleck, man. That scene, man, he does just he's a believable Bruce Wayne, Batman, his suit, his car, his whole attitude, the way he kicked Superman's ass, all that hyped me up and had me team Ben Affleck. But when I went in and saw Robert Pattinson in the suit and the outfit and the mask and the cowl, it had me team. I was like, damn, he pulled it off. So I think if he wants to do it, he can do it. I don't know whether or not he's going to get tired of this, but I think this movie is very believable. I think that Warner Brothers would be stupid not to let him do it if he wants to do it. I don't know whether Matt Reeves is all in or just going to do the 3 quick ones like Anzo said. I'm not certain. But usually if things are successful, people tend to hang around. And if things are profitable, that's even more motivation for them to hang around. So if this movie is successful and profitable, which I think which we already seen it has been, I was told on the stream before that it's opening up in China sometime later on this month. So when it gets hold of that China audience, that's even going to propel even more. Now, will it make $1 billion? I'm not certain. The number I'm shooting for, I see in my head, is like 800 million. That's what I'm seeing, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I definitely enjoyed this movie. This movie was based more realistic than fantastic, as we've seen in the past Batmans. That's some people's cup of tea, some is not. It's my cup of tea. There are several scenes that I love in this movie. One of my favorite scenes is the subway scene when we can hear him just walking and coming there and then he kicks your ass. That's one of my favorite parts. But I definitely think if Mr. Pattinson wants to do this, he can do it. I would sign him up if I was in Warner Brothers. If that's what he wanted to do, I would work closely with Matt Reeves and try to elevate him, because like we said, we only saw year 2. Next time it might be he's been doing it for 5 years, 10 years. I would put some distance in between the next movie we saw him in. So and see a more polished Batman and a more polished Bruce Wayne. Because like Anzo said, this was just vengeance. But the suit, he pulled it off. I didn't think he would. He did. So if he wants it, I definitely think he can take the baton, so to speak, the bat baton, and run with it.
All right, very good. Let's see here, 3 minutes. All right. I'm kind of with Anzo on this. Okay, I didn't know that they greenlit the other 2 yet. I heard that they wanted to do 3, but I didn't know if they had actually greenlit it yet.
I think a sequel is definitely greenlit.
Okay. Well, I know that they greenlit the 3rd Wonder Woman movie, like even before
the second one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so DC might do that. Robert Pattinson to me is good for that Elseworlds feel. I don't think he's your traditional Batman. I don't think it's the traditional Batman vibe. We talk about it a lot on this show, about how hard it is to get somebody who can play both that Bruce Wayne character and Batman. I think that Ben Affleck probably has done it better than anybody else, possibly. I'm still a Michael Keaton fan, though. I think Michael Keaton, even though some of it wasn't quite what people would have thought Bruce Wayne would be, I think he kind of had that quirky Playboy vibe about him. So I think there's only been a couple people who've actually played both Batman and Bruce Wayne very well. So I think you need somebody who's more of a traditional Bruce Wayne. It's not hard to pull off that broody for some people, and I think Robert Pattinson proved that. But I don't know. I didn't necessarily think the moments of Bruce Wayne in this movie was all that great. I think it's all right. I think it serves its purpose. But if you want to reinvent Batman for the DC universe, whatever that is, DCEU, just DC book, movies, whatever you want to do. If you're going to reinvent it and start over from scratch and not bring Ben Affleck back, you got to find that guy that can play Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne is as much a part of Batman as Batman is a part of Bruce Wayne. And in these series, you see it with Ben Affleck. He plays Bruce Wayne because Bruce Wayne's important, because he's not always Batman. So, you got these parts in there, and I just don't think Robert Pattinson quite pulls off all of it. Plus, this one, for all the people talking about Zack Snyder making things way too dark, this movie is very dark. In a good way. I mean, it's like the Joker. What? No, I watched it. Well, I watched some of it last night, and I watched the rest of it today during work and stuff, because I was doing other things, other than just being out on the floor. I think that people said Zack Snyder's stuff was too dark. I think they're looking for something that's like a good mix. Again, I'm not sure what Warner Brothers really will do, but I don't think they're going to go for Robert Pattinson as the main Batman. I just don't see that happening. Could they? Yes. A lot of
star power.
Yeah, I know. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I don't see that being the way they are. Let's talk about this for 3 minutes together. Again,
one thing I agree with Danny on is if he wants to do it, I think he proved himself that, he can do the job, or, but again, like Chris said, it is a different type of Batman. So will he be able to portray the type of Batman that they'll put in more like a fantastical type of movie? That would be interesting to see.
I don't think they're going to go that route in this version of Batman.
No, they're not. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that even though Ben Affleck, it's not your traditional Batman. It's not the Chris Nolan, or it's not this one, the Reeves version. It is closer to that comic book version with a little more realism. So I think kind of one of those things that works for Ben Affleck is it's enough realism with enough comic booky type feel, if that makes any sense. This is, again, Nzo doesn't necessarily like it as much as the other ones, but this is more that realism, like very stripped down. It's gritty. Now I gotta say though, in Batman versus Superman, Ben Affleck, that's gritty. He was really gritty, but it still had a comic book feel to it. If that makes any sense.
You got a comic book feel because his partners were of the comic book level. If you don't add Wonder Woman and Superman or any of those other ones with actual superpowers, then it's going to look more like Ben Affleck. I mean more like Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson was a more urban Batman than the Batman we've seen before then. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like that urban because it's something that is different, because some of us, I won't say all of us, a lot of us content creators say we want to see something different. I'm going back to my same argument. They showed us something different, a different version of Batman. I think it was good. Some people don't think. I respect if you don't like it, but it's different than what we've seen before. And I know the main argument, if it's different, it got to be good. I think the writing was good. I think the movie was good. maybe just what your cup of tea, because we got so used to seeing Batman in such a comic book way that when we see him stripped down, like you said, it ain't to some of our liking. But I like this urban version of Batman. I thought it was cool.
I mean, I think that, we talked about before the thing came out that they were going for that Batman Year One vibe, and I think they caught that very well. It's very, not everything is like, you can tell that if they continue this series, that they're going to refine the Batmobile and other things he uses in this. It's going to get refined. This was definitely very, first try of things, like new stuff that he, so. All right. Put that for that. We had the poll over. Will Robert Pattinson become the new Batman for DC? 71% said no. Danny, door number 2 or door number 3?
Door number 3.
Door number 3. If I remember right, you might. This is going to be a hard-hitting question. I don't know if it was 2 or 3 that I did it. New York City has just opened the nation's first government-approved supervised drug injection site. Besides a whole line of legal problems this could lead to, there are also ethical and moral questions. What are your thoughts on this? Now, when I say, a supervised drug injection site, I am talking about, heroin.
Like a safe place for drug people.
Yes.
Drugs.
They're putting them in clinics like methadone clinics and stuff where they can go there. They can be supervised. That way, if they have an overdose, somebody can be there to try to administer. What's the stuff they give you to?
Narcan.
Well, maybe not you, but what was that?
Narcan.
Yeah, that's it. They have that stuff readily available. And so,
we
what are your thoughts on this, guys? Yeah, okay. Who went first? Oh yeah, Danny or Nzo, you went first. So Danny, we'll let you go first on this. 3 minutes, go.
I think this is very silly and not a very intelligent decision to do this, because you're trying to say you're helping people, but in fact, you're just empowering that. You need to try to develop some kind of way to get them totally off of that, to get them not dependent upon this particular narcotic, whatever it may be. I've always been a proponent of not doing drugs or that kind of stuff, because I want to be able to keep my own senses and wits about me. If that's what you want to do, and it's legal or whatever the case may be, then hey, I'm not faulting. It's just not for me. Just like alcohol, I drink sometime, but I've never been drunk only once, because when you get drunk and don't have control over yourself, you can get taken advantage of. So that's just one thing that just not my cup of tea. I don't endorse it. I don't approve of it. In fact, I've told my own children, look, you drink, call me. I get out of bed, come get you. I don't care. You call me 2 times a week, 2 times, I'm going to come get you if you're drinking. But if you do any kind of drugs, then your ass is staying in jail that night. I'm just telling you right now. Don't call, because you're going to waste your call, because I'm not coming. So these people that sit there and supervise people doing the drugs, I don't see how they're going to get past that if the drugs are illegal. That makes no sense to me. I don't see how they're going to get past that particular caveat of the law. But I guess we live in this world now that you can't tell people no. To tell somebody no is the wrong thing to do. But sometimes the right thing to do is to tell somebody no. The right thing to do, in my opinion, is to tell these people, no, you can't do that. We'll get you into these clinics, into these rehabilitation places to try and get you off of it, sober, or whatever the word you use for it. Try to get you clean, try to get you back on the right track so you become a productive citizen. But you're not going to be productive if you're high. You're just not on this kind of stuff. I know that some people say they're functioning drunks, and they're to a certain degree, but there's a certain point where you're going to stop functioning, and instead of being a help to society, you're going to be hurting society. I don't agree at all with these drugs, these narcotics, barbiturates, whatever they were, cocaine, heroin, all that stuff. To me, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I hope it stays in New York. I don't want it to trickle down to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
that's just how I feel. I could be too much of a hard ass on that, but just
Okay.
my 2 cents.
Very good.
Uh,
All right. 3 minutes. Anzo, go.
I'm kind of taking the opposite side of Danny, and I understand where Danny is coming from. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you if you have a meth head or crackhead or heroin, whatever, it's them that has to decide to quit, right? You can try and force them as much as you want to, but if they don't want to do it, they are not going to do it. But if you have a safe haven place where they can go and do their stuff and be monitored, you can also maybe at the same time try to convince them or give them reasons why they should get off of it and try and show them that kind of a way, right? As Dandelion said, there are places in Canada that do stuff like that, and I haven't really looked into it or anything like that, so I don't know how helpful it is or anything. But at the end of the day, like there's so much drug overdoses and people, dying in their apartments because they're doing it. So if you can go to a safe place where you're monitored and if anything happens, they can get to you right away. I'm not against that. I'm not against that. Now, I also feel that if they're there, you need to be helping them and giving them ways and other things and other options to try and get off of it. That's damn for sure. You can't just sit there and be accepting of it. Um, as the laws go by, I have no idea, but I'm guessing if it's a safe place where they can do it, I guess the law is not involved in that. I'm not sure how that's going to work either, right? Because, like Danny said, a lot of these drugs are illegal, right? But it's all about helping people. You know what I mean? And there's legal drugs that are just as bad as some of the drugs that half of these people are on anyway. So let's be real about that, right? But hey man, for me, whatever makes it safer, right? Because even let's say person gets high thinking about going to do some bullshit, but now they're actually in this place where someone can kind of try and convince them like, no, that's not the thing to do, blah blah blah. So it gives them something, a safe environment, not only that but also someone to talk to as well, right? Because well, I can't guarantee, but I'm sure that these nurses and people are monitoring them are actually having conversations with them as well. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing today? Especially you see someone coming in constantly every day, there's going to be some sort of relationship there. And once you have that type of relationship, then maybe you can actually try and convince them to get off of it. So it comes in two folds, right? You can't just sit there and watch them and be not empathetic and just be like, oh, fuck that. Look, they're coming in here, And I think a lot of these nurses, some of them anyways, have compassion and will want to actually talk to them. So at the end of the day, I think it's not such a bad idea.
Okay. Very good. All right. So on the surface, what do they think? This is crazy. We're inviting people to continue to use drugs without even trying to stop them. Well, that's not true. These places, these clinics and stuff where they're talking about doing this. And yes, this is the first one I think I read somewhere that they're thinking about doing this in like 10 cities. Start with one, see how it does. They're going to put it in places where they know the problem is. They're not just going to let these people come in indiscriminately and do it. They're going to let them do it, make sure that they're in a safe environment to do it, keep an eye on them. They're also going to say, hey, you know what? This isn't something you need to be doing. This is dangerous. They're going to talk to them. They're going to try to get them into some sort of therapy. But the key is if they can get these people to continuously come there to do it, the more they hear this stuff over and over again, it might break through because it didn't happen overnight. These people didn't become these addicts overnight. They started with something, and one time they're like, okay, I'll try it once. And then they walked away from it, but then something brought them back to it. And then as time goes on, alcohol is a very easy way to say it. The more you drink, the easier it is to do it. You just become, it's a habit. Oh, I'm just going to have a beer tonight. Next thing you know, you've had 3. Next night you might have 1, but then you find yourself doing it every night. Those things become habit. And that's what's happened to these people. the one thing this makes sense for is this. These clinics, most of them are staffed by registered nurses or nurses who are volunteering. This isn't actually costing your hospitals any money to take these people in from off the street when they overdose. So you're reducing the use of your ambulance and 911 services. The police normally have some sort of a handshake with these clinics saying, we're not going to actively seek out these people coming there because they're there to get help or they're there to be safer or whatever. So it reduces the chances that your police are put in situations where perhaps it's dangerous or, it's going to lighten the load on your emergency services in general. And these things make sense. Now, the key here is let's not just go stupid crazy and put 50 of these in every city. And I think only major cities probably should have these. But let's start and see where it goes. Because like Dandelion said, up in Canada, I know they've been doing this for a little bit. And I have heard things about it. And Canada is a very good way to look at what could happen here in the States because of things they've done, because they kind of are a little more progressive than the United States are in some things. And from what I've read, it's helped. It's not the answer to the problem alone, because some people are just going to use this as an excuse to continue to use, but in a safe environment. So I think it's a good idea to at least let's see what happens. And if it spills over and you start to see in that area, let's say within a 5-block radius, you notice that there are less calls for overdosing or things like that, you can start to say, well, look, let's try it in another neighborhood and let's see if this ups the success rate. 3 minutes, let's talk about it together.
Right. So when they were talking about legalizing weed here, right, there was so many people talking about, oh my God, if they do that, people are going to run out. And I'm like, no, they're not, because people are smoking weed anyways. But now it's legal for them to do it, right? It's not like we got to go and hide and do it anymore. We can now do it in the comfort of our own homes or something like that. So to think that, this is, I guess you could say, kind of like gonna help, not help people, but help raise the drug use or something like that, or like, it's supporting the drug use. It's not. It's just that people are gonna do it anyways. So why not give them a safe place to do it? That's what I think.
Yeah. Now, Danny, if this helped, and I'm not saying this, I don't think, because what I get from where you live, I don't know exactly, but I get you're in a more rural area, not so much urban. You're not. What's the closest city to you, and how far away is
it? The capital is in Columbia, and it's about 30 minutes from my house.
Okay, so let's say Columbia. I'm thinking of those things: more metropolitan areas, more urban core, because that's more where these things are. That's more where these problems do sprout. I'm not saying it's the only place where they exist, but I think that's where they need to focus, because I think, maybe I'm wrong, but do you think that would help reduce the strain on emergency services, police, fire?
It may somewhat, Chris, but I don't have the issue with the marijuana use, because we don't have many people that get high on marijuana. I'm talking about these hard opiates, like and my thing is, where's the funding going to come for these safe places? Because I got a problem with taxpayer money, my taxpayer money, being put into something that I don't agree with. Now, if there's some way that we could, hey, the people that agree with it, raise your hand, y'all pay for it, fine, whoop-de-doo, because I'm not supporting nobody's habit. But if my taxpayer money goes towards that, I feel like in a certain kind of way, I'm supporting that habit, and I don't like that.
But what if it's helping people, Danny? Do you still feel that way?
I Love Food has a good point here.
It's just like,
never used. Would they serve you? Would they let you go there if you never used?
It's like we pay school tax. To me, it's crazy. I ain't got no kids in school, so why am I forced to pay a tax? I mean,
hey, listen,
it's the same thing. I'm not a drug user. No, so why am I forced to pay for a problem that I don't have? I just don't agree with that.
Okay, I get where you're going with that.
Me too.
And I'll have to look it up, but it says it's government approved. I don't know. I think what that basically means is they might have like said, listen, if they go there to use, we're not going to walk in and arrest you. I think more that's what it is. I'm not positive that this is actually tax sponsored because
it's a double-edged sword. I can see where it's helping people, but also there's going to be some knuckleheads in that group.
Absolutely.
That's going to empower, and that's the knucklehead. That's the 10% that pisses me off that I don't want to do it.
Well, that's like Chris said, you're going to get the people that are going to go in there just because it's a safe place to use, not because they're trying to get help, but hey, they can go there and have a safe place to do it. You know what I mean? But some people, and for me, I'm like, and I say this like on the OC when I've talked about my depression, if I help one person, then I'm okay with that. Just one. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, guys, I put it up. Our supervised drug injection site's a smart or good idea.
But the rebuttal on your comment just now, Nzo, and then I'll be done with it. Depression is a disease. Using drugs, that's a choice.
You're right, but it does end up becoming a disease after you've been hooked for so long.
Disease or a habit?
You could call it both, right? Because it's one habit that's extremely hard to break.
Never seen a bad habit indulged and the problem didn't get worse. That's a good point right there. But a lot of medical institutes are now stating that addiction to drugs and other things is also a disease.
Yeah.
Alcoholism is treated as a disease too. So there's all these both sides of the story on this. But as far as the poll, our supervised drug injection site's a smart or good idea. The poll voted 50-50, 50% yes, 50% no. So that's kind of interesting. That's how double-edged this whole thing is.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic or drug head, and you take that away from me. My body will get better. My mind will get clear. I get disease. I get cancer, or I get some other crazy disease. If I don't have, if it ain't the grace of God, or I catch it in time, then I'm going to die.
But there are diseases that can be cured.
And one thing I'll say about that, Danny, too, like if you've been like a crackhead or a drug dealer, like you can slip and go right back into that in a blink of an eye. You know what I mean? So you always have to be on your P's and Q's. So I know it's not the same thing as an actual physical disease, but it could be a mental disease. You know what I mean?
I'm not demonizing nobody. I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying, in my opinion, anybody that chooses to take drugs is making a different choice than what I choose. I'm not saying that my choice is better. I'm saying my choice is better for me. I'm not saying it's the best choice in the world.
So what if someone...
I'm not saying I'm any better than any crackhead, anybody that depending on something. I'm not saying I'm better than them. All I'm saying is the choices that I make are better for me.
What I'm saying. And there's a few situations where some people have been tricked, right? You know what I mean? It's like, hey, smoke this weed, and then the weed has crack in it, and stuff like that, and then you're addicted. You know?
Yeah.
So that's a very good point on. So.
There's different levels to it. I completely understand what you're saying, Danny, 100%. But at the same time, there are different levels to it, so I can see both sides.
There are, and some of it too is stand on your morals, because I had opportunity to do all that stuff, everything, but no, I don't want that. I ain't trying it. I don't need to have it. Blah 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 blah. Some people choose to do it, and then they get. So I'm just saying. Sometimes it's a choice.
I agree.
Last door, number 2. Several leaks have said that the Wolverine will make an appearance in the upcoming Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Magic. Magic? Oh my God! I was obviously stupid.
Yeah. Chris did something wrong. I can't believe it.
Clip it, guys. Clip it.
Yeah, I thought he was perfect. Every time me and I'll go do something wrong.
I must have been thinking about Poom Poom then.
Yeah, probably.
Magic Kung Fu.
For real.
The Multiverse of Madness with Professor X confirmed. When I looked it up, they say semi-confirmed, but listen, we heard his voice. He's in this. Let's just be honest. Who are other characters you would like to see introduced or make an appearance? So if they've already been in movies, who would you like to see in this movie?
Is this the reason
Up
why
to you guys. Who you want to go first?
Article?
I'll go first.
What? Huh? Yeah, the article I sent showed, who
confirmed and
is confirmed, who is semi-confirmed. Those things. I just sent that as a way of showing you, and it'll pay off here in a little bit too. All right. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. 3 minutes. Time starts now, Nzo.
All right. So one thing I will say is there any characters that I really like? Oh my God, I want to see this character and they're so bad? No. Well, if it's other than the evil Doctor Strange from the What If, then no. Because right now we're already getting this movie where it's like this guy's confirmed, this is confirmed, this is confirmed. It's getting to be a lot. You know what I mean? And we've always said this. And even though Avengers and, you know what I mean, Infinity War and all those movies, they did it right with a lot of characters. You still got to be careful how many characters you put in this movie. Even if I guess some of them can be like just flashes. I 100%. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like flashes of a character. You know what I mean? Like when you watch No Way Home and the sky breaks up, you see flashes of certain characters, their silhouettes in the break, So there could be situations like that where you see, he's going through the multiverse, like when however Flash is running back in time and then you can see those little pictures of things happening or what happened and stuff like that. You could see stuff like that. So as he's going through time, it's like, oh, look, you see he flashes by with a Tom Cruise as Iron Man or something like that. So if they do stuff like that, no problem. But if they start to get to where he's going to this multiverse and then he's talking to this one, then he's going to this multiverse and he meets this one, then he goes to that multiverse and he meets that one, it's going to get very convoluted. So I think they want to stay away from that. I just think, what they have confirmed and some of the ones that they're still confirming, we're not sure if they're going to get them or not. Like Miss Marvel, they said that was still semi-confirmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then keep it limited. That's for me. I want to see it limited. If you're going to introduce the X-Men, introduce the X-Men in that as well. You already have Professor X in there. Now, we don't know which Professor X it is or who it is or whatever, but if they're going to make it Professor X, you can have him where he's walking into that scene, like it looks like the Illuminati chairs and everything like that, part of the Illuminati. And as he's walking there, he walks by a couple of X-Men. You could do something like that, and that'll blow people's mind. Hey, Wolverine, look Cyclops, you know what I mean? And they don't have to be a major part of the movie. So again, I'm all fine with that. I just don't want there to be way too many characters in there. And like I said, other than seeing because when they showed that clip, first thing I said was, oh, evil Doctor Strange from What If? And I hope they do that. They said Peggy Carter, Captain Carter is supposed to be in it. If they show just a little glimpse of her or something like that, I am down with that. I'm down with them showing alternate universes as well. So if they show an Iron Man that's Captain America, I'm down with that. I just don't want it to be too much. I don't want that to be what the movie is completely about to take away from the story. So that's just me.
You'd be more interested in Easter eggs of characters
type of thing, yeah.
Like if he goes to a different universe or a different dimension of that the multiverse, whatever. That maybe there's a picture of Iron Man that has his helmet off and it's Tom Cruise, rather than actually having Tom Cruise talk to him.
Yes.
Okay, all right, I got you. Okay, cool. All right, Danny, 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
I'm agree with about 80% of what Nzo said, but there are two characters in particular that I want to see, and they can have as much time in the movie as they want to. I want to see Superior Iron Man. I want to see that. Do I think they're going to do it? Probably not, because that would kind of be spitting in Robert Downey Jr.'s face. But if they still do it, I would chuckle and be like, Tom Cruise is probably going to kill it. And I want to see what the Superior Iron Man would do with 3 Infinity Stones. I think, to me, that would be fire. Another one of my favorites I want to see is Neymar. It's been rumored he may possibly be in Wakanda Forever. Black Panther 2, I don't know, but that'd be a good way to introduce him, make him do something badass or something like that. I've always liked Neymar, even in the I first saw him on Spider-Man, His Amazing Friends, and transformed to the Fantastic Four. I read about him in the comics. I think he's badass. So that's the two who I would really want to see. Hearing Professor X's voice was cool. I don't have to see any of the X-Men. Just knowing that he's there is good enough for me. But usually, if you see one, you see the other. So usually, if we see Professor X, we might see Magneto. So I don't care for the old Magneto. I really don't. I don't want to see him, but they're going that route with Patrick Stewart. I would have went with James McAvoy, Professor X version. Maybe a little bit older than what we see him in the last movie. I just think that Patrick Stewart, as great as an actor he is, he's just getting a little bit too old, long in the tooth, so to speak. So I would let James McAvoy and Fassbender carry that torch, what I would do. But it still could show them, because like I said, this could just be one of the versions of Professor X. But when they actually reboot it, then they can reboot with those two. So that's what I would do. I would definitely keep those two if I'm going to reboot X-Men at all. But more or less what Anzo said, if they just throw in anything in there, 100 different characters, which I get all of them sufficient screen time, that's gonna be a lot of watch. Shit, this be a 4.5 hour movie, and nobody wants to see that. You may say we want to, and I may say it. Would I watch it? Yes. I have to take piss about 3 or 4 times. I can tell you that. But 4-hour movie, that's not going to go over well. So they got to keep this at the 3-minute mark, 2.5, 3-hour mark. They got to keep it in there. Anything lower than that, I think it's going to lose some of its oomph. But two I definitely want to see is Namor and Superior Iron Man. Those are my two I would love to see.
What's the longest Marvel movie so far?
Endgame.
Yeah.
Endgame, and how long was it?
3 hours.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, I mean, Marvel movies to me, okay, so DC, of course, has kind of bucked that trend a couple times. They've had some fairly long ones. Batman's a fairly long one. And what I mean by that is, like, Endgame, I don't think it was so
Zack Snyder was
Zack
the longest. 4 hours.
But as far as actual theatrical release, I think Endgame wasn't as much of a problem because there was enough going on. There was enough people, eye candy, things going on. It moved quick. It didn't seem like it was really 3 full hours. Marvel movies, when they're singular, or, I mean, Multiverse of Madness might be something that can get away with it, but yeah, I'm with you. 2.5, max 3 hours, but I wouldn't even necessarily go there because I think the 3-hour movie would be like that epic finale of a movie, like you said, Endgame, Infinity War, things like that. So, all right. Okay. So the poll, guys, by the way, is, do you think Wolverine will show up in this movie? I think that would be a bad idea. I know a lot of people are talking about it. I know things I've read that said, yes, he's going to make an appearance, like in an end credit scene. And it's not going to be Hugh Jackman. I'm sorry, if you're going to put Wolverine in an end credit scene, just to play off the fun of it, you pay Hugh Jackman $50,000 to say, come in, say one word, walk away. just for the hell of it. That's what I would do if I was to put Wolverine in this movie. I honestly think if you're going to put another X-Men in it, let's see an X-Men that we have not really gotten, and I say have never gotten in live action, which is not true because we did in the Wolverine movie, or Origins, and that's and I just lost the train of thought. Gambit, thank you. Okay. Gambit. I'd love to see Gambit. Just Gambit, probably. Namor's a really good choice too. I like that. I think that if you're going to put people in that are actually going to be in the movie, you should pick people who haven't really been introduced yet. I don't think we need to add a whole bunch of people that we've seen before. I think Loki would be a good choice too. I can't get enough of Loki. I love him doing it. I just forgot his name too. You guys can help me. A proper Cyclops, dude, that would be awesome. Mystic Shadows. But I would go with Gambit. Like I said, Danny brought up Namor. That's a really good choice. But I definitely stay away from ones that have been done over and over and over again. I can't remember who set it up here. Right here. I love food. They just need to let the Fox X-Men in. Absolutely right. Let's rethink how we're doing this. Recast these people. Putting Professor X in this movie is not a problem to me because it's a separate area. I know I've seen a lot of variant talk in this. That's why I say Loki would be interesting. You know, like a real evil Loki, like a really strong evil Loki, would be interesting. I think something like that would be really interesting. One that's like doesn't have the compassion that he's shown and all that. It'd be interesting. What's going on, guys? Good to see you.
What up?
Yeah, very good, Andrew. Yeah, not the same one, you bitch boy. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking I'd like to see Gambit done right. And Namor, I'd go with Namor or a good Cyclops, a really good Cyclops, not this I don't know, the biker boy guy or whatever he was in Fox X-Men. Yeah, but that's more what I would go with. So
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm with
all
you.
right.
I'm with you. Yeah, you can start it.
All right, 3 minutes. Let's talk about this.
I'm with you, Chris. I do want to see a good Gambit, man. I like Gambit. I want to see a good Rogue, right? Because Rogue wasn't done properly at all. So I want to see a good Gambit. I want to see a good Rogue.
No.
Storm, even a good Storm. The only one that I thought was pretty good was Cyclops, but he didn't get nothing to do in those movies.
Mm-hmm.
I like the second Sabretooth. I thought Leo Schreiber killed that.
Dude, you know what? If they were to take somebody from the Fox stuff, that would be a guy I'd bring in on this one. And you know what would be funny is to make him not like the an evil person necessarily, but like Professor X's right-hand man type guy, but still be Sabretooth. It's kind of like how he was in that.
If they bring him, I want them to make him look like Sabretooth, though. You know what I mean?
I like that look, them damn nails retracting and the damn fangs, slight fangs.
Yeah.
You look better than me than the first one.
Well, I agree with you. The first one didn't look that good, but I want maybe someone bigger to play him. You know what I mean? Someone huge, someone muscular, to where you can put the blonde
he got that swag though.
He's good. He was good. Yeah, I can't lie. He was good.
Yeah, he got the swag. I hear what you're saying. If he was bigger, he'd be awesome. But he had that swag, man.
Like imagine someone like Henry Cavill's build. You know what I mean? You put the long mane on him, you put the little beard on him, and make him look like I could deal with a Sabretooth like that.
Maybe someone like Triple H when he had long hair.
Yeah. The Triple H can't fucking act for shit. No. You know what I mean?
I just think that it's really dangerous to go and like reuse characters we see over and over and over again. I want to see something new. And like I said, Gambit has been in an X-Men movie, but he had 15 minutes?
That was not fucking Gambit.
I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the character. But like that one that I said to Fatal J the other night, the one that the fan one that we've talked about, I was like, I wish they would have made that longer. I love that. The way it's done, it's beautiful. But just I want to see something different, but I do think X-Men need to be where they go with it. If they're going to add a substantial character in this, it needs to be like some sort of an X-Men.
Yeah, I agree.
But all right. Well, guys,
I would like to see something that they don't do or they haven't even. It's like an Alpha Flight movie. Alpha Flight, that's the name, with Puck and Sabretooth was a part of that. Wolverine was too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the Canadian version of the X-Men.
Yeah, I would love them to do that.
Okay.
That'd be interesting.
Fuck, I misplaced my damn score sheet.
Current scores, just so you know, is 16 for you, 13 for Hanzo and myself. 16, 13, 13. So the poll was, will Wolverine make an appearance in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? 80% of the people said
yes.
No.
Oh, no? Okay. Yeah.
80% of the people said no, and that's like, wow. And actually, we got 51 votes on that, guys. I don't know where in the world all that came from, but thank you very much. That got more votes. That got more votes than the other ones. You got 34 on the first one, on the second one, I mean, and I'd have to go back up and see if I can find any more. Anyways.
Thanks, Terry. Much appreciated.
Terry, good to see you. Good to see you.
Hope
nerd.
Hope I entertained you when I was on MSK stream. It's all about fun. That's all.
King Pie, I see you coming in. Thank you, guys. Everybody who's here today, thank you so very much. Make sure if you're not yet subscribed to Khaos Central, you click that subscribe button, smash that like button, and spread the word about us. Okay, guys, you know what time it is. Here we go.
Time.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now for the moment that everyone's been waiting for. It's Khaos Central's Final 5 Fact or Fiction. Yes, Final 5 Fact or Fiction.
You need to record that and hold that fiction note longer.
I can do that.
Fiction.
Yes, I can do that. I did that like 10 minutes before we went live that night. The first night I played that one. So okay, guys.
Announce the boxing matches. Man, that sucker, he fired.
So Final 5 Fact or Fiction. We have 5 questions that the answer is fact or fiction. But before we get to that, because this is the 16th week we've done this, actually, guys. 16 weeks now. I looked at it as like, holy shit, because I'm having to go back further to go through stuff. And we've got a couple weeks that are like all but done. Some, of course, have dropped off because whatever we talked about didn't happen or something like that. But we do have tonight.
I need to go ahead and get to 21 tonight.
5
lead tonight.
That that we have.
5 is 21, right?
Yeah.
So I need to get to 21.
Yeah, you're not going to be. I'll tell you right now. I know you're not going to be at 21. Anyways. Final. Well, I know because I know one of them we both said no to. Final 5 Fact or Fiction question number 3 for week number 9. Let me get the. Make sure I have the. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay. For week number 9, Final 5 Fact or Fiction question number 3. Kim Kardashian West has been seen recently with Pete Davidson, yet Kanye recently made a passionate apology to Kim, and then Kim thanked him in a recent People's Choice Awards speech. Fact or fiction, will Kim and Kanye stay together and reconcile? The answer is they just got done with a court case where Kim Kardashian asked the judge to declare her single, and he did it, and that's done. So it's just moving in the direction of a divorce and all that. So I'm going to call it, because especially after what Kanye's been doing lately,
I don't even remember this
which
question.
is kind of acting a fool. But she is now listed as single. So then that was given to her by a judge. So I think that's about close enough as far as not married anymore. And let's see here. Number 3, Danny said fiction. Anzo said fiction. And I said fact. So I was wrong. So Danny and Anzo will both get a point here. I'm just deleting off my stuff. I'm going to go in here. We're going to bring up the tally right here. Danny's going to get 17. Anzo's going to get
Let me give you a hint.
14.
Chris. You would get 2 black men in an interracial relationship. Okay.
I should have known.
You know what I mean?
I should have known.
For real.
Should have known. Should have known. Yep. All right. Fact or fiction, question number 5 from week 10. The Winter Olympics are set to begin Friday, February 4th. The 2018 Winter Olympics had a viewership of 27.8 million. Fact or fiction, 2022 Winter Olympics will have more views than 2018. I don't know what it was. I think it was like 26 million. So the answer was no. Let me save week 9 stuff here. Let me go to week 10.
Yeah, you got to know what it is, not what you think.
Oh, I can look it up if you that's what you were asking me to do. Hold on.
You can't say I think it was.
No, what I'm saying is I looked this up last week or 2 weeks ago, and I just didn't get to doing
that's
it.
good. If you looked it up, that's good.
Here we go. I have it right here in my search still. 11.4 million.
Jesus
so
Christ.
Way lower.
Way down.
As I said, ain't nobody gonna give a shit about the fucking Winter Olympics. Both you motherfuckers said yes, so give me my point.
Well, wait a minute. They'll have more views. I said fact. Danny said fact. God damn. How did we do that, Danny?
I don't know.
Jesus. And Nzo said fiction. All right. So we'll go back here and we're going to put Nzo now at 15 and I'm still at 13. I am so going to lose this. Sean says 11.4 million too hot.
Facts.
I don't disagree with that. All right. Final 5 fact or fiction. Question number 1 from week 14. Let me get up to week 14 here. I want to close that. I want to make sure that we have this. Close that. And week 14. Okay, here we go. All right. Number 1. Since 2011 Super Bowl between Green Bay and Pittsburgh, the game has seen a steadily declining viewership. With LA and Cincinnati in this year, many believe this trend will continue. Fact or fiction, this year's Super Bowl will see less viewers than last year's. It had, and I had this up somewhere right here. The viewership was 112 million, 112, 13. And if I go back, let's see here. What was the viewership of Super Bowl right here? It was only 96.4, so it actually went up. Close that out.
Remember what I answered on this.
All right, so question number 1. Danny said fiction, which means he believed it would go up. So he's right. You said fiction, Nzo, so you get a point, and I said fiction. So we all get a point on that. And I will bring this up. And I'm going to cry because I actually got above 13. I'm off the unlucky number, thank God. All right, next one. Week 14, question number 3. With Russia placing at or around 100,000 troops at the Ukraine border, it seems that they are poised to invade the country. Talks continue between Russia, United States, France, and Germany, but the outcome is uncertain, and the U.S. has even asked Germany to cancel an oil pipeline if Russia does not invade as a punishment, or if they do invade as a punishment. Will Russia invade Ukraine by the end of the year? They did.
When was this question?
What?
When was this question asked?
This was
week 14. So technically,
it was like a few days before.
It was like a few days before the week before it happened.
Yeah.
You said fiction. I said fiction, but Nzo said fact. So Nzo gets a point. You and I stay in place. I'm going to save this. Bring up this. So Nzo is now at 17. And let's see here. I don't know. Let me make sure. Yeah, we got one more from week 14.
Saying that question was asked this year or last year?
This year.
This year.
Okay.
Just about 4 weeks ago. Like, so a week before it happened. Yeah. All right. Oh. What the heck? What? Maybe did we do the same one twice? I guess we did. So I only had 4. I'm sorry. That's my fault. All right. So that brings us to this week's. Let me save this right here. Close. Bring up this week's fact or fiction. Okay. Final five factor fiction question number 1. With strong opening weekend for the Batman, the consensus seems to be that it's a hit. With the second highest opening weekend since the pandemic, the Batman will announce a sequel within the next 2 years. Okay.
I'll be right back.
You said fact. Danny? Fact. I'm going to say fact too. I mean, like I said, I haven't heard that they greenlit it, but I have heard the whole thing of like it's going to be a trilogy also recently. So I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. So next question. Final five factor fiction question number 2. Denver and Seattle have made a deal for Russell Wilson. Denver is sending a second or 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks, a 5th-round pick, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and Noah Fant for Russell Wilson, and a 4th-round draft pick. So they're only getting the 4th-round draft pick and Russell Wilson. Fact or fiction, Denver will have a worse season than Seattle in 2023 or 2022-23.
Fiction.
Say fiction?
Yeah.
Fiction.
Okay. Fiction? You think I'm gonna here's the deal, guys. I'm gonna say fact. I'm saying that because I think they should have stuck with Drew Lock.
That's on the contingency that they get Russell Wilson, right? If they don't get Russell,
Well, they are getting him.
So that's
I don't think it was 100%
confirmed
confirmed yet. Yeah. I don't think.
I thought they could do it now.
So
I thought they're in the free
that
agency.
was an offer. They hadn't pulled the trigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. If it doesn't happen, no.
The question is
it goes out the window.
Right.
Okay.
If it, yeah, just like all the other stuff, if it does not happen,
I got you.
then yeah, it's nullified. Question number 3. With Morbius on the horizon, many think that it has been pushed back one too many times. With its release still scheduled for April 1st, fact or fiction, Morbius will make less than $500 million because of its delayed releases and pushbacks.
Fact.
You say fiction, Danny?
Yeah.
I say fact.
Anza says fact. With the fact that some of these movies have been getting big hits, I'm going to say fiction. Number 4. Lots of different news is coming out about the cameos in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, Wolverine, Loki, Captain Carter, among others. One of the biggest rumors is that Mr. Fantastic will be in the movie. Fact or fiction, Mr. Fantastic will appear in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. I'm going to say fiction.
I want to say fact, because if it's anywhere to bring him in, it's this movie. But I'm thinking there's other ways you can bring in Mr. Fantastic. So I'm going to go fiction too.
Okay. Danny?
I'm going fact.
Okay. Last one, question number 5. Tom Brady is rumored to possibly be signing with the San Francisco 49ers. Besides being his hometown, it's also the team his idol Joe Montana won 4 Super Bowls with. Fact or fiction, Tom Brady will come back and play for the San Francisco 49ers.
Fact.
You know, what's funny is you sent me this, and I was already writing up stuff, and I had read this story this morning.
Yeah. You believe that,
Yeah.
No, honestly. Do you want to see the article I had pulled up?
I don't.
I'm gonna go fact.
You're gonna go fact, okay?
I'm going fact as well.
You're going fact as well. Only because I think Giselle will kick his ass if he does. I'm gonna say fiction.
Bro, Tom Brady don't need Gazelle. She nice to look at.
Why is she still around?
He don't need her. You think if they get a divorce, that Tom Brady won't be married the next week if he wanted to?
Yeah, that's fine and dandy, but I mean, here's the thing: she's the one that implemented a lot of his like regimen
I agree.
for
I'm pretty sure he got that prenup in there.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. All right. So Danny, question number 1 is fact, then fiction, fact. Anzo, fact, fiction, fact. Interesting. Nice little pattern there. And I am fact, fiction. Interesting. All right, guys. That is how that is done. I will say fact because Tom Brady is a cockroach that never died. Thank you, Sean. You're perfect. Joe Montana all the way, though. Yes. All right. So you think it will, if it does make more than 500 million, it will barely do so, like make 530. Well, that's all it has to do.
Make $501.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with like maybe 450 million around there.
Okay. All right, guys. Like I said, I saw a lot of new people here. Andrea, Sean, I Love Food. You know, I know I Love Food. You're here a lot, so I appreciate that. Shifty Gizm, B versus S Nerd, Mystic Shadows, Terry Pole, King Pie 100, Dandelion Fluff was here, Basco was here, Jason was here. Who else? Let's see here. Going up.
I got a bounce, Chris.
All right, man. Anyways, lots of people are here. Anzo, talk about your show real quick.
Next up, it will be the OOC, so come check out my channel. Danny will be on there later on tonight as well to discuss some of the topics that we have. It's going to be a fun show, guys. It was a pleasure. See you soon. Peace out, guys.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right. But yeah, guys, everybody who came tonight, thank you so very much. You guys made tonight a really fun night. Lots of interaction with the chat and all that. I appreciate all the poll people who voted in the poll. Danny, tell them about yourself and your channel. Go right ahead.
I'm Danny Graham, aka Comment Chat. You can find me here Monday through Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with me, Nzo, and Chris. We form Khaos Central. Also on Saturdays, you can find us also with our amigo Roberto, where we talk a little bit of sports on Square One. We'll be talking some NFL and also NBA. So if you're not doing anything on Saturday afternoons, please tune in and give us a try, man. Good show tonight, and look forward to Saturday. That's the next thing. Yeah, I don't think there's nothing else planned for Khaos Central this week. I don't think.
Nope, I don't think so. All right, guys, I am Chris Knight, the Real Review 3000 on my channel. I say ADHD for YouTube. If you like The Masked Singer, I do a thing called Unmasking the Masked Singer every Tuesday. I released that yesterday. Masked Singer was tonight. If you watch that, check that show out. We talk about who I think the people are behind the mask, all that stuff. But I do gaming streams, movie reviews, music reviews, all sorts of stuff like that. But also, guys, more importantly, Khaos Central, guys, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're watching this after the fact, or if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed already, please do that. Also, check out KhaosCentral.com as you see down there at the bottom of the screen. That is where we have some articles up about different things. We're going to work on getting reviews. If you would like to write for KhaosCentral.com, if you want to do a review on a movie, if you want to do a review on music, a book, anything like that, if you have an editorial piece, you want to talk about something that's really on your nerves or something that bothers you, and it's pop culture related or music, movie related, whatever, guys, DM me right here at ChrisKnight5150. That's how you get a hold of me on Twitter. My DMs are open. DM me. Let me know you want to do that, and I'll get you on there. So, guys, with that said, Danny, thank you very much. Everybody, have a good night. Peace.
Peace.